All right, so we have the usual standing agenda for today. Um, and in terms of announcements, the uh, Live It on Fire pre-publication review was done a while, but it's not coming out in May. It's probably going to come out in August. And then we've got some ballot reconciliation for the cow fire IG, for the CGM IG, and for the cancer pathology reporting project. And then the cow calls continue um, Fridays, and then also Tuesdays. We alternate. Um, the Tuesdays are every other week. The Fridays are every week. Um, And the fire lab report IG calls are starting up this week, July 25th, I think is what it is.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right.
All right. So they'll get back on that. So that's HL7 announcements. Any other HL7 announcement? Oh yeah, ballot pool sign up is open. So if you haven't looked at what's in there, to sign up for, take a look. I don't think there's anything specific um, needed for or specific to Shield when I looked through it. Um, any other HL7 announcements from anybody?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
There, any
Well,
federal government?
sorry.
Yeah.
One that might be of interest to folks, if you're from, especially if you're from a vendor, is that how the clinical orders workflow is looking at the Connectathon in September and including a lab order. So it would be really great if there's some folks that are vendors that could participate from the laboratory perspective. They're still working on developing it, but it's starting with simple orders first and then working up to more complex ones. There's other things there'll be other types of orders they'll be trying to exchange, but I think it'd be good to get some LIS vendors, EHR vendors, etc. Reference labs potentially.
Good call out. I put it like that. Any government announcement? Anybody's got anything? Okay, I'll say none. Okay. Um, any other announcements from anybody?
Can't remember if we have it in the slides, but just to let folks know for the upcoming lab link release, um there's going to be some kind of order grouper codes that are methodless. Um and I know Pam and Neil and I have been working with Stan and some of the folks on the lab link committee to kind of understand what these are going to look like. They're not going to replace any existing like CBC or panel codes, but things that might be inorderable as part of the Loink SNOMED ontology. And it looks like they're going to be trial order Loinks. I don't know, Pam, if you want to chime
Yeah,
in.
they'll
Things
have
we
a
have.
trials. They'll have a trial status. They will have a new class that is called Lab Order Ontology. And then on the details page, there will be a, a little statement about what these are intended for and that they could possibly be used as a generic order uh, or with more supporting information. But we were hoping that the trial status and the new class would be enough visually for any implementers to think twice before adding this on as an order. There's no panels here. They're strictly observations, and some of them are not intuitive that they would be in order. So that's where I think I initially got a little confused. But they're meant to be a collator or a grouper for the SNOMED LOINC collaboration to help drive an ontology. So, for example, anion gap is one of them. It's a calculation. It can't be ordered by itself, but it's not meant to be in a lab order use case. And the other phrase that's on the details page is that under no situation is this to be a resultable LOINC. If anyone is attending the clinical LOINC meeting later today, Dr. Stan Huff will be presenting slides on that, and I've invited him to the August meeting as well. So this is really late breaking news. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you for the updates too. And I'll just mention too, Stan did a presentation on the vocab work group on this. So last week. So we're kind of still like digesting it and things like that and asking a lot of different questions to understand, what this is going to be looking like. And I think that, for folks downstream using data that's maybe already encoded by laboratories, I think it might be helpful for queries and searches and that sort of thing. They would have to map the generic grouper LOINC to whatever LOINCs that they have. If it's an HIE, if it's public health potentially. So there might be some good use cases on this. But it's just understanding how to use this and not use this so it's used appropriately. So we want to mention this so it's not a surprise to folks.
Okay. I think if the slides are not yet on Confluence, I will make sure that they are on Confluence later today because I have a copy of them. So I will make sure they'll be on the Shield vocab Confluence page for folks to look at. Anything else? Any other announcements? Actually, I am remembering one other HL7 things. The one ballot that might be of interest is the PQ Alliance IG. So the PIQI Alliance is working on data quality. It's a data quality project looking at proper data modeling, data code use, and things like that. So that might be a good thing to PICI. Yeah, thank you. PICI Alliance IG.
Makes it easy to remember.
Well, it does, but it doesn't. So
Yeah, sure, I understand.
so yeah, they're doing data quality. So that might be a good one to sign up if you haven't yet.
Yep, that's how Keith pronounces it, is just what I'm saying. So
PICI, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it is too. It's just not in my brain necessarily. All right, so upcoming meetings, the ones we have on here are these. They're quite a ways away, except ADLM.
Yep,
And
I'm
then-
going to ADLM next week, and there is a roundtable on Livid. I
Oh.
hope it's packed. We'll see.
Okay,
I asked for registrations, and I haven't a roster, and I haven't seen that yet. So
excellent. I like it. And we are going to give an ADLM webinar on Shield for October 22nd, 12 to 1. So Andrea and I are starting to pull some slides together for that. And I'm not sure, is there anybody of the folks for the AMIA presentation? No, but they are also working on pulling slides together for AMIA, which is in November. And then the LOINC conference registration is open. It's in Montreal and also online. And early bird ends July 31st. So that might be good to mention for folks that are interested in attending that. Any other upcoming meetings we have missed? If not, if you think of some later, email me and I'll put them in the slides. Updates from any recent meetings? I don't know that there were any, so. All right. All right, then steering committee update. We met 2 weeks ago, last week, I guess. We're trying to get through some charter updates. We're voting on the leader white paper finally. And we have some open slots. So we have an open slot for a patient advocate. And we are looking for an additional professional organization participant on the steering committee. So if anybody in that capacity is interested in participating in the steering committee, email Andrea and myself in either of those capacities. And our next call is August 6th. Any questions on the steering committee update?
I'll just mention one other thing that we started looking through is the LRI review by the Standards and Vocab Work Group. So looking at that document, I know we've had it for a little bit. We've just been trying to get some of the time sensitive things or some of the comments and things done. So we're starting to look at that and just have some discussions about some of the recommendations from the vocab work group and just kind of going through the document for now. And then there's some ideas that folks have had to maybe get some more information to help some of the Shield initiatives. Like one issue is we don't have like a national compendium, so nobody knows all the different types of lab tests that are done nationally in the US. So kind of looking at, things that might or where we might get some insight to some of that information. So
Okay. The IBD Data Hub working group. I know you guys haven't been meeting, Nick, but do you have anything you want to say here other than what's here?
Sorry. Nothing else to add. I'm going to ping my colleague who will be at ADLM next week, see if there's any opportunity to, kind of get the word out if there's any other interested folks to join the working group. But without the governmental kind of engagement in the working group, different agencies, it's we don't have the appropriate diversity of participants to really have compelling conversations about next steps. So still in a bit of a holding pattern.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Thank you. Appreciate.
This is Mukta from CDC. Rebecca and I can start joining the Data Hub work group meetings again.
Oh, good.
So, and I also want to mention, I don't know if Steve Emmerich is on this call right now, but he's doing the standards work group. And I know Purple Lab does some, data management stuff. So there might be something there we could try to connect with as well, if anyone has background on that. Thanks.
Thanks, Mukta. I may reach out to you just to kind of get a feel for times that might make sense to meet. It's great to hear that you guys are able to jump back in a little bit more consistently. So I'll look for a note from me.
Sounds good. Thank you, Nick. Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then when you guys set the next meeting, I'll make sure it's on the calendar and maybe send a note out to folks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll do that. Great, Mukta. Appreciate that update. That's excellent. All right, leader. We didn't have a call today because there were some technical difficulties. So our next call is actually next week. So which I didn't update that yet. But we're waiting for the steering committee vote on the white paper. But we're probably moving this maybe just realistically to Q4. But we're still working on a pilot ingesting BioMerior's Livet maps into Comet, and then going seeing how that works, and potentially seeing if I think they're trying to be at the Connectathon. I haven't double checked that if they have a Connectathon track page yet. But they're kind of looking for maybe some other vendors that can provide Livet maps, or for some LIS vendors that could digest and output out of Comet in Livet format. Oops, here is Ed. We should let him in. So it's slow going, but going. So we haven't actually had a meeting with that pilot work group because they're heads down on trying to get some stuff done. And I'll reach out to them to find out when we can have the next scheduled call. That was kind of the next action item, is to set our next call, which hasn't been set yet. Anybody else for some more update on the leader work group work? Moving to communications and branding. I think we're still working on the survey results. Eric, you're not on, right? No, I don't see him.
So in his place, I can say, yep, we're still working on the survey results, and they should be, I think, ready for the next meeting.
Okay. Cool. And your next call is tomorrow?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So if anybody's interested tomorrow, 12 to 1, they can use more members. And then the standards and vocab work group. Andrea already gave a little bit of an update. Do you want to speak more?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know Stephen is on, and I think I don't see Julia either, but a number of folks met last week and joined in, and Stan gave an overview of kind of what Loink is planning to do with the lab orders, as we discussed. And it was really good because previously I'd given a presentation about names of orders. We've kind of been orders focused since the previous standards work group was focused more on lab results reporting. So we're kind of starting with orders and working through questions people have, looking at some of the standards and things like that. So we welcome anyone to join.
Any other topics anybody wants to bring up? Not hearing any. This is the slide that I keep rolling past and I'm not doing anything about. But we'll get there maybe one day. I'll look at it in more detail. So our next call for this group is August 26th, but we don't have a second Tuesday call as far as I know. So if there are any folks that have any topics, we have openings in August and September. Don't think we've picked a date yet with Sarah for that update. We just know that at some point she'll provide an update of some sort. And with that, I guess I'll give you guys 32 minutes of your time back. Nobody has anything else? Have a
Thanks very
great
much.
rest of your
Thank
week.
you. You too.
Thank you. Have a
Good.
great week.
Thanks.